Good evening, everybody. This is Kedar again. I thought today would be a good time to trying to get situated here. It'd be a good time to talk about relationships and what I think defines a woman, what defines a man, and how we should act toward one another. Again, remember, nothing ever in my podcast will be derogatory, nor offensive, nor meaning to hurt anybody's feelings. This is all about self-esteem. But in order to garnish and embrace self-esteem, you must know who you are as a person. You must know who you are as a man, as a woman, not just a female, and certainly not just a male. We have to be realistic in our desires, in our hearts, things of that nature. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to sit here and we're going to chat a little while and make sure we know how we should define ourselves. First of all, I want to say this here. My brothers, my sisters, all races, if your absence doesn't bother them, your presence never meant anything to them at all. You were just a means for them to garnish whatever they could for themselves. Then they're going to step off, and then they're going to go ahead and they're going to leave you standing in the dust. Now, here's another thing. If people are only making withdrawals in your life and they're never making a deposit, they're never saying, let me pour into you. Let me pour this knowledge into you. See, pouring into you, making a deposit is not monetarily all the time, and it shouldn't be at most times. Case in point, for you women who meet a man, if he's not pouring into the essence of you being a woman, if he's not pouring into the essence of acknowledging your beauty and putting you up on a pedestal, whether you are his significant other or not, because you're all queens. That's the bottom line. You're all queens, and I would beg to differ with anybody who would say anything different. Now, let's go a little deeper. You women, you have to know how to entreat your man. He cannot go out there all day and fight the world and come home and have to fight you. When that man comes home, no, you don't have to submit to him in the way most women identify with submitting. Submitting does not mean to kowtow to this man. Submitting does not mean when he says something, you jump and do it. Submitting simply means knowing your place, knowing when to nurture this man, letting this man know when something is bothering you, learning how to talk with him, not at him. See, that's our biggest problem, especially in our race. We want to talk at each other. We want to get the last word in. We want to get there and say, well, tit for tat, you did this, well, you did that. That's not how life is supposed to be, people. We're better than that. If there's a problem, you sit your man down. Baby, let me speak with you for a minute. Hear me out. Then sometimes his opinion is not needed nor wanted. And he has to decipher when he should say something, how he should say something, and it always should be with love. You understand that? Now, I can speak on this because I was the most loveless person that I knew growing up in New York and in Philadelphia and in Newark, New Jersey, boxing, shootouts. I did it all. I've been down that street, done that penitentiary, and it got me nowhere. The only thing I embraced in prison, I was able to really see who I was. I don't hear about that. I had knowledge of self. That's just some slang everybody uses when they go to prison. You have knowledge of, no, you don't have knowledge of yourself if you don't know how to treat your queen. And you don't have knowledge of yourself if you don't know how to treat your king. I've been married now. I've been with the same woman for 11 years. My faithfulness cannot be challenged. My fidelity cannot be challenged. My protection over her cannot be challenged. Me not nurturing her is a falsehood. And she would tell you. But I had to learn how to be a man. I had to learn how to accept this woman as my soulmate, my best friend, my helpmeet. All of these things I had to acquire to even begin to have the journey of knowing how to treat a woman. I don't care if you're black, if you're white, yellow, green, whatever. We are the human race. I love my race, the human race, not just one race, not the black race, the white race, the green. I love the human race. We have some knuckleheads in it, but I love the human race. Now, as we delve further, I want to ask you people, is your man treating you like a queen? Is he putting you up there on a pedestal? When you're wrong, does he sit and talk with you, not at you? Does he call you out of your name, other than what your name was, unless it's a pet peeve that you both like? If he's calling you out of your name and he's not putting you on a pedestal, and he's not cherishing you, and he's not pouring into you and making emotional, mental, and even spiritual deposits, and all he's doing is pulling from you, making withdrawals where there's no refund, baby, you got the wrong man. And vice versa for you men. You got the wrong woman. Because see, everybody loves to look at a beautiful woman or a handsome man. But a lot of times you find that those beautiful, outwardly beautiful and handsome men and women are sick or ugly on the inside. See, there's your natural beauty, the inside, the inner person, the inner soul. The genuine person is on the inside. This is just a shell. This is just a shell. You know, we can't sit back and think we look good and we so good that we can get any woman we want or we can get any man we want, because with years comes age. With age comes wrinkles. With wrinkles come more, you're not as beautiful anymore. You're not as handsome anymore. Your hair is turning gray. You got a few stretch marks. The brother's stomach sticking out a little bit, including mine. I put on a little weight, which is no problem. I'm a little teddy bear to my wife. She loves it. But this is what we have to embrace, everybody. We have to start looking at the inside of a person. We have to get out of that mindset that I only want him because of what he can do for me. I only want her because of only what she can do for me. There's no such thing as a 50-50 relationship, because there's some days that man gonna have to pull 99% of the weight. And some days that woman's gonna have to pull 99% of the weight, whether it be in finances, whether it be in emotional issues. There's a lot of things that we as people have to learn to embrace, not what society says. You know, and I tell people, and they say all the time, the American dream, throw it down the toilet. Throw the American dream down the toilet. I don't have the American dream. I have Kedar's dream. I don't have the American dream. I have what Kedar wants out of life. I don't want what you got. I want what I got. You know, I'm not here to become jealous of you and look down on you because you think you all that. No, I am satisfied and comfortable in my skin. I am comfortable in my mindset. And this is what you must be. You must be, in spite of what everybody tells you. If I got 10 haters, I ain't got enough. If I got 100 haters, I don't have enough. Because let me tell you something. If they're hating on you and they're talking about you and you've done nothing to them, you have done something right. It's when they stop talking about you and stop hating on you that you might want to check yourself. That's when you want to check yourself. And when I say this, I say it with all sincerity. You know, we're screwed up as a people. As the time goes on, we see that we are not the way we should be towards one another. When I walk into a room, people are intimidated by me. The followers are intimidated because I'm a bona fide leader, and the snakes around me feel threatened. You need to be the next leader. You need to inspire people. You're a natural leader. You just have to tap the resources. Don't stick in the familiar. I tell a lot of people, if you're in the familiar, you'll never grow. Same mundane routine every day. You'll never grow. You never come out of your comfort zone. That's where you learn, when you come out of your comfort zone. Even when I was back in my days when I was boxing, my comfort zone was fighting guys in my weight class. I had a 50-50 shot, more or less. Got out of my comfort zone when they went up 20, 30 pounds, and I decided to fight them, which made me a better all-around pugilist, as they call it. So, people say I look angry all the time. And really, that's not true. But I've been soaked in so much pain. I've been soaked in so much sadness most of my life until I met my wife. I've been fighting a war. My culture, my entire life has been a struggle. But I strive to be happy. And that in itself, it's a war to be happy. Because you got to deal with you every day. At the end of the day, it's about you and how you deal with you. It's not about what Johnny says. It's not about what Kim says. What they say means nothing, because they don't walk in their shoes, your shoes. They can't walk in your shoes. Your story can't be their story because it's solely your story. And you probably can inspire somebody. You can probably inspire somebody to just come out of their shell and just be, oh, you have no idea the things that you can do. And once you can do it, once you know that you can do it, you have no issue. You have no issue. Once you know that you are successful within yourself and you have peace. So you have to have peace within yourself, everybody. You know, for a long time, I was at war with my inner self. For a long time, I had nothing for society. For a long time, I embraced violence. I embraced the gangster life. And it caused me stress. It caused me many sleepless nights. Caused me to look over my shoulder. It got me absolutely nowhere. I had plenty of money. I probably had more money that I've wasted over my years before I was incarcerated than the average person would see other life. I wasted it. And when I went into the penitentiary, it showed me then that money meant nothing. Nobody was there for you. Well, lady friends, thank God I wasn't in a serious relationship, so I was able to not have that, oh, what my girl doing? I had no girl. So that transition was easy. But the loneliness, the sleepless nights, the banging, metal against metal, 24/7, people treating you like you're nothing, like you're subhuman. You got to be tough to deal with that and overcome it. Some people can deal with it and they become institutionalized, or they're what they call a survivor. I had to deal with that and I overcame it. I blocked it out. I studied law. Paralegal was my major. You know, I taught school while I was in there when I wasn't, I hate to say, when I wasn't knocking somebody out. But most of all, I learned to love me. And that's what it's about, everybody. It's about loving someone. You know, I am a Christian, okay? However, I'm human and I'm fallible. And I tell people, never put me in a position to have to show you how cruel and dangerous I once was. You know, I'm just here. You know, when I asked God for strength, He gave me difficulties to make me strong. When I asked God for courage, He gave me danger to overcome. When I asked God for wisdom, He gave me problems to solve. And when I asked God for love, He brought troubled people in my life for me to help. I and my wife in my small marketing firm, CK Marketing, we feed the homeless. We have fashion shows. We honor different people, transitional facilities. That's my way of giving back for all the wrong that I've done. And I've done a lot of wrong, but I love me. I love me and I love you. You know, I mean, I'm not here to try to find a girlfriend. I got a beautiful wife. My sole purpose of my podcast is to build self-esteem in somebody who may be hearing this. You can ask me any question you want. You can hit me up on my Facebook page, Kedar Brunson. I'll answer you. As long as it's genuine and sincere, everybody has a right to their opinions. Some people will like what I'm saying. Some people will not like what I'm saying. You have a right to that opinion. But what we don't have, including me, we don't have a right to disrespect each other. We don't have a right to offend each other. And before we do that, I'd like to see the back of your head get smaller. I don't have time. Time is too short. You don't know how much time is allotted on this world. And on that note, let me say this. I'll use me as an example. My wife is not my wife. She is on loan to me from God because one day she has to leave me. She is not my property. She is my helpmeet. She is my best friend. She is my soulmate. She's the one that I go to for comfort. Your girlfriend, your baby, your mama, your daddy, they are not yours. They are loaned to you. If that wasn't true, they would never pass away. Think about it. You can't make them stay forever. I can't make them stay forever. So while they're here, let's love them. While our sisters are here, outside of relationships, brothers, let's love them. Let's cherish them. You sisters, love these men. You know, and I must say this, and this is with all sincerity, our women, and I'm strictly speaking on the African race on this note, our women have allowed the government to desensitize you when it comes to the black male. You have allowed them to impress upon you with their false indoctrination that you don't need the black man because we're going to give you a check every month. You don't need the black man because we're going to pay your rent. You don't need the black man because we're going to send you a babysitter for we're going to take care of your daycare. What do you need him for? Let me tell you something. Those nights when you are thinking rational, because when you're thinking like that and going to the whims of the government say you're thinking irrational. When you take everything, put it in a bowl and stir it up, you need that black man for his strength, for his aura, for his mental toughness, for his protection, to walk by his side, not behind him, but by his side. So get out of that stigma. You want to be independent. I ain't never seen an independent woman happy in my life. They may tell you that. They're not happy. By the rule of nature, you were not put on this earth to be by yourself. The rule of nature dictates that we are social creatures. Therefore, we need socialization. Therefore, we need one another. Now, let me talk to you brothers for a minute. Y'all running around here playing these women. Y'all running around here treating them like they dirt or like they're just something to hit and miss, hit and run. Brother, you out of order. You better than that. You are so much better than that. You letting yourself down. Every time you disrespect one of those women, you disrespecting your mama, your aunt, your nieces, all of them. Every time you disrespect a woman, you are disrespecting all women. You better than that. That shows your self-esteem ain't all there. You're hiding behind a facade of what? You a dope boy? That's temporal. And probably gonna wind you up one or two places. You a player? Players have a losing hand eventually. Be real to yourself. If you're real to yourself and true to yourself, you'll know how to treat a woman. And I encourage you, brothers, think about what I'm saying. You know, all the money in the world, all the material wealth in the world cannot replace a true love for your race. That's for any race. Because in the Caucasian race, they have the same thing, just flipped and twisted a little better. We know it, and we'll delve on that later on. But this is not going to be a race baiting. This is not going to be nothing because I love all people. Why? I had to learn that. That's why I love racists. Racists make me a better person. Because see, I know racism is not in our DNA. It's a learned behavior. So together we can help them unlearn that behavior. I've never seen a 3 or 4 month old baby, a white baby, that wouldn't run to me. And vice versa. A baby does not know. He is taught the ridiculous ways of racism. He is taught in some instances that he is better than such and such because of the color of their skin, which we all know is a lie. Nobody's better. We are articulate. We are smart. We are overcomers. We are inventors. We are doctors. We are lawyers. We are powerful in and of itself. But if we are, it's a shame that all the money we spend, the billions we spend every year on consumer goods, we don't own anything. Isn't it a wake-up call? If we put all our resources together, there's no telling what we could accomplish. We would be a culture and a race to be reckoned with. So I invite all you people, and I hope you've learned. I know I was here and I was there, but it's all about motivation, people. Sometimes I'll say things you don't like to hear, but if you ponder on them, you say, Kedar had a point. You ladies, you stop letting these men treat you any kind of way, and you men stop letting these women do what they want to do with you. Talking about, oh, I cheated on you, I made a mistake. There's no mistake in cheating. I'm sorry. That's not a mistake. That was an intention that you did that you may be sorry for, but it wasn't a mistake. On the man's side and on the women's side. Nobody made you pull your skirt up or drop your trousers, woman and man. So let's get out of that fake philosophy that, oh, baby, I made a mistake, forgive me. Yes, forgive, don't forget, and don't take back. And I tell my wife every day, if I do it once, I know you'll forgive me, but I wouldn't even come back because I let you down. And I'm supposed to be here to lift you up, not let you down. You have enough in your world as a woman that you have to fight through every day in your workforce than to come home and worry about your husband. Who is he with? Shay, Shaniqua, or whatever. The woman don't deserve that. The king doesn't deserve that. A king is not a king without a queen. And a queen, it's impossible for you to be a queen without your king. But again, I repeat what I said earlier. If he has to fight the world all day out there on his job, if he has to fight that all day and then come home and fight you, home should be his safe haven. I come home and I know I trip my wife out. She thinks she said, no one really realized what a baby are. I want to cuddle with my wife. That's every night. Every night. It's not about sex. Sex is good, but it should not be the number one priority in your life. Connecting with your wife's spirit, connecting with her heart. I'm with my wife over 11 years, and she'll tell you she's still very much in love with me. Because, see, you have two types of love. You have, I love you, and you have, I'm in love with you. And let me explain the difference. If you just love a man, or if you just love a woman, and you're not in love with them, then you have a contract. It's conditional. If he does this, I'll stick with him. But if he doesn't, I'm going to divorce him because I love him. But if you're in love with your spouse, that's a covenant. And come hell or high water, you're not going to break that, except for physical abuse. And let me throw it out there, and emotional abuse. I'm not playing the radio with that. No woman deserves to be abused in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Differences will come. Abuse should never be in the mix. Words should come. Calling out of her name should never be in the mix. There's power in the tongue. So if you just love your friend, and you're married, you got a contract. Yeah, I love him as long as he keeps a job. I love him as long as he keeps me in the house. I love him as long as he does this and that. But as soon as he stops doing all these things, you want a divorce. That's conditional. That's a contract. That's I love him. But over here, I'm in love with him. That is a covenant blessed by God. Again, you'll go through whatever to honor that covenant unless you're in danger in one way, shape, or form. And you women remember that. You deserve it for yourself to be treated so much better. That doesn't mean going to a 5-star restaurant. I mean, I'm okay. I'm successful. I'm sitting in my home right now that I had built. But I'm not rich. Don't want to be rich. That's more problems. I want to be comfortable. So I've learned to love me. Now I'm striving to that comfort level to where me and my wife, we can keep taking our trips to Dominican Republic and New Orleans or Bahamas. Wherever we want to go, we can go. I want to know that my bills are paid. I want to know my wife is happy. If she want to go shopping, go. This is the mindset you want to be in. My wife can leave me for a week to take care of business, and not one time will I doubt in my mind that she's doing something. That's the caliber of woman that I have. I took my time. She made me wait 5 years to marry her. And when I asked her why she made me wait so long, it was powerful what she said. She said, I was ready to marry you after 2 years, but I had to make sure that you were ready. I was fresh out the penitentiary. 5 months out of the penitentiary, I meet her. We've been together 11 years now, inseparable. We're married. We have our differences. But ain't no knockdown, drag out, cursing each other. We don't play that. She'll go to one room, I'll go to another room. We'll think back on bed. Before we go to bed, our last words were, no matter how we get, is I love you. They say grown men or real men don't cry. That's a lie. Let me explain something to you. Let me tell you the situation. I'm just going to put myself and be transparent. I was at Salisbury high-rise prison, real thin window. I'm on the 3rd floor. It's 5 floors up. One of the most dangerous prisons where I live at. And my face got wet. And I looked up. I said, now I'm on the 3rd floor. There's 2 more floors above me. I'm thinking there might have been a leak. So I looked up. I ain't seen no leak. And I touched my face. I was crying in my cell. And the reason why I was crying, I was like, Lord, I don't want to die in prison. I don't want to die alone. And if you send me a woman with integrity, I will honor her and be faithful until you call me home. I got saved at that moment. 2 years before I got out, the 23 years first I was in, I was rough. Beast is on my back, and I was every bit of that. Um, I didn't see a bright light. Angels didn't sing Kumbaya and all that, but little by little, I changed. I changed. I was still hard, but I was humble. I started working with the gangs, talking to them. The gangs would call me when they're ready to go to war. You know, Kedar, man, come up to Moore Science Temple, talk, we ready to go to war. I would talk to them. You know, I was never an alpha male. I've always been a masculine male. Big difference. Wasn't an alpha. And ain't nobody barking me because I bit, but I was a masculine male. I was quiet, and silence said so much in prison. I was very silent in prison. I had no friends. I had people I would talk with, Muslims, Wiccans even, Christians, whatever. But I cried. So under the right circumstances, it is perfectly appropriate for a man to cry. I got strength for those tears. It cleansed me. And when I got out the penitentiary, I enrolled in college. Paralegal tech was my major. I studied law while I was in. I studied anatomy and physiology while I was in. I was a G&D instructor while I was in. I preached my last 2 years when I was in. I got out, started my own business, met my wife. I had nothing. But my business, a month after I met her, I had been out 6 months, June 21st, 2013. I bought my first Lincoln Navigator. Put a trailer on and started detailing cars. I did that from 2013 to 2017. From September 12th, 2017 to this day, I work for the same county, the same state that incarcerated me for 25 years. God did that. I've gotten 12 Stellar Awards, and the highest award you can get in this county, which is the 5-star award, I got that in 2 year period of time. Never been done in this county. Department of Justice flies me to Washington to speak to policymakers. Paid in full, paid me to speak for 10 minutes, put me up in the high-dollar Grand Hyatt hotels. I'm a motivational speaker because I'm transparent. I'm not getting too deep in my story because I want to motivate you. And for me to go to the beginning of my story to the end, it's going to make you sad till you see the ending. And you're looking at the ending, but to be continued. God's not done with me yet. And for those who don't believe in Jesus Christ, you're looking at a miracle. I should have been dead. People have tried to execute me. I've been on my deathbed twice. I was a leader of the Zulu Nation in New York back in the 70s. I've had shootouts in broad daylight. I've been stabbed. I've been shot. I've been whatever. God saw fit to spare me for a purpose. See, we all have a purpose. We're not just here by chance. I wasn't raised with mother and father. I was raised in foster homes. My father tried to kill me. My mother tried to kill me. So what? They're dead and gone. I love them. I didn't love them then. Because of the way they did me. I met my father when I was 16 and my mother when I was 21. She was an alcoholic and part-time prostitute. She tried to kill me. I met my father when I was 16 in New York. He tried to run me over with a 2.5-ton truck and tried to shoot me. But I put my face to the gun and said, are you going to be a coward and shoot your son in his back, or are you going to shoot me in my face? It's 1976. I was a 16-year-old gangster. Didn't care. I've been down the road to suicide. Fort Hill, Oklahoma. I was riding around Fort Hill, Oklahoma in 1977. I just didn't want to live anymore. I was in Lawton, Oklahoma. Got a bunch of pills, went back to the barracks, drank them all. When I woke up in Reynolds Army Hospital, they had to stick a catheter up my, you know what, with charcoal activated milk of magnesia to clean me out. They had to pump my stomach. I tried to take myself out. I hated me. I didn't care. You see, I've never been scared of dying. I'm only scared of going to hell. I'm not scared of dying. The day you're born, you start the process of dying. I was just scared of where I was going to put my eternal rest at. That's what I was worried about. Where am I going to rest eternally? Because quiet is kept, there is a God. And I'm not trying to get off on no religious kick, but I know what I know, what I know. And I know what he's done for me. I know what he'll do for anybody hearing the sound of my voice. We're going to keep this thing motivated. Anything y'all want to be, I'll join y'all. Y'all join me. And we'll keep this thing going and just be all the way live with it. And God is a blessing. And we're going to talk soon. Peace and blessings.